most places, time is marked by pages of a calendar or ticks of a clock. Snow Hill isn't most places. To everything is a season. In Greene County, it's baseball season. Your son's first pitcher is taken with a baseball. They start playing as young as 3 years old. Each spring, the recreation fields overflow with fresh cleats, bats, balls, and hopes and dreams. The beginning of a new chapter in the storied baseball history of this rural community. Here, the big leagues is the Greene Central High baseball field. You want to play on that field, under those lights, to be part of something that is bigger than one person or one team. You want to be a Ram. Here, the passion of time here is told with stories and moments and names. Rams who've made their mark here and beyond. The Rabbit Fulghams, Walt McKeel, Tommy Eastons, Cliff Godwin, Blake Herron, the Snow Hill baseball camps, the post-94 team, Willie Jones, Passam Jones, Scott Jones, Russell Brann. But in some years, these small town teams become legends. And legends live forever. 1972, 1980, 1987, 1990, 2000, 5 state titles. Teams that will forever be the best there was. After coming up short last season, this year's team has a chip on their shoulder. There's business to attend to, redemption that only baseball can provide. Down a game in the Eastern Regional Finals, the Rams rallied back to win 2 games against a familiar playoff foe in Whiteville and secured their spot in the 2024 2A state title game. The class of 2024 is on a mission. They are writing their own chapter in the story. It's their time now. Brady Anderson, Cameron Taylor, Jordan Scott, Noah Uzzell, Austin Hardy, Braden Burris. These seniors have won 65 high school games, back-to-back undefeated conference campaigns. And it's not just the senior class. Will Rafford, Riley Rafford, Easton Creech, Elijah Moreau, pieces that fit perfectly into a puzzle that created a number 5 national ranking for small schools, top seed in 2A East, and an East Regional Championship. So when they say it's just different in Snow Hill, they mean it. The walk-off against Midway, the must-win Game 2 on the road, the 3-run blast in Game 3. Now it's time for Coach Ben Brann and his edition of GC Baseball to take one final road trip. For those 6 seniors, the playing days and snow thrill are done. One more weekend tournament for boys that have spent the majority of their lives on a ball field. These are the seasons we remember for the rest of our lives. This is how we make our mark. This is Greene Central Baseball. And here we are. If you're watching this, it's game day. State championship on the line right here today, Friday. Unfortunately, we're pre-recording, so let's be honest here. We're at Greene Central watching the Rams practice, but they're practicing for one of the biggest games of their life.
Series, really.
Yep.
But I mean, tonight, Friday night, it's going to be a huge game. The first against a really good Burns high school team. But, you know, take nothing away from the season that these guys right here behind us have had to get to this point. 1 loss, 27-1 record. Just, you know, they've got a chance, you know, for people to be talking about this in 20 years.
Yep.
They've got a chance at history, something that hasn't happened for this community in, 24 years?
Yep.
They've got a chance to make it their own, you know, slice of Greene County history.
Without even more being said, we got to give a big shout out to the Greene Central Diamond Club for sponsoring this show. Also making a heck of a effort of fundraising for this team the whole out year. Shout out to them. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Let's jump into the schedule. We got a best out of 3 series with the reigning state champions. Burns won the 2A state championship last year, and now they're back. Like you mentioned, both teams took their first loss of the season in the last series.
Correct.
Both teams overcame that, and here we are today. Friday at Burlington Athletic Complex. Is that right?
Yeah, home of the Sock Puppets.
And a home of the Bull Durham, right?
Yeah, well, Bull Durham was filmed there.
Yeah, not home of the Durham Bulls, but the movie.
A scene was filmed there, yeah. A lot of scenes, actually, but home of the Sock Puppets. I love minor league baseball team, and what a name, Sock Puppets.
Sock Puppets. Let's go.
Let's go.
So game 1's Friday at 5 o'clock, and game 2 is Saturday at 11. If something happens and they split, game 3 will be Saturday, the same day as game 2 at 5 o'clock, all at the same
complex.
Yeah, and I mean, it's going to be weather-wise, going to be some beautiful weather, Trey. We're looking at the forecast. There's no rain projected at all this weekend. It's going to be sunny. It's going to be warm. You're looking at like 75, 76 degrees Friday afternoon, Friday evening when the first pitch is thrown out at 5. Saturday is supposed to be up in the 80s. So all you Rams fans who are going, or just, other fans from this area who are going to watch, a great series, pack your sunscreen, short sleeves, some shorts. You're going to be, have some really good weather to watch some baseball.
And shout out to our first ever Noose News weather forecast guy, Ryan Pittman, for that information.
I mean, hey, look, being in a
it's important, man.
Yeah, but forecast, you can be right half the time.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. That's something that you can guess at.
Yep, exactly.
All right, before we jump into the actual show, which this is the show, but before we get into some matchups and break down the teams and statistical, we have a great interview between a coach that has coached, this is his 41st year coaching, and ironically his son is in his second year head coaching. And we sat down with Coach Russell Brann and Ben Brann, and check out this interview. You guys are going to like it.
Greene County baseball has been a part of my life for a long time. I know I played Little League here. Of course, we didn't have Pee Wee when I was coming along, but I played Little League here. I played back then the equivalent of Babe Ruth. It was called Pony League. I played that, and when we left Snow Hill Junior High, our goal was to be able to play at Greene Central High School, and that was my goal. Greene Central baseball, like I said, has been my life, and both of my boys grew up with Greene Central baseball in their veins. It was a big part of their life, and it's just been something that I love. I love the game of baseball. If I'm not mistaken, I think this is my 41st year coaching, and it's just been a part of my life for a long time, been a part of my family for a long time, and it's something very special to me.
I've been around baseball my whole life. I remember coming here after daycare, after school, whatever, and just kind of running around, hitting in the cage, hitting on the field with the high school teams for a long time. I've hit many a baseball out here growing up, but I think I kind of always knew that it was something I wanted to do. Being a part, like we had said earlier, being a part of such a tradition and being part of the Greene Central High School baseball team is something a lot of people want to do. Pretty much anything sport related, baseball related, I was all into it. I remember before I was even old enough to come be a participant, I was out here messing around with I would just be in the youngest group. I'd be 3 years old and can't barely speak and all that good stuff, and I'd be participating in the camp. So yeah, it's definitely something that's been a part of my career.
This will be my 5th state championship series that I've been a coach in, and one thing I could say is to not let this series get too big, but let it be a normal game, but enjoy it, take it in. A group of talent like this sometimes is a once in a coaching career opportunity. My piece of advice would be just to enjoy this and treat it just like any other game. Of course, this is a state championship series. It seems like it's a little bigger, and I guess it is, but the game is still the same. We got to play these games like we've played all year, except with the first game with Whiteful. We don't want to play it like that.
And that's what it's all about, right there. Greene County baseball has been a Greene County bred system. Each coach, from as far as I know, back to the 60s, each coach has been from Greene County. That's why one thing I love about this program is they believe in building with inside. They believe in their sport and their own culture. Man, you seen that Whiteville, or you seen any of the playoff games this year. Yeah. They showed up. The community shows up, man.
Oh, yeah.
And so many former players, so many, former coaches, or just mom, dads, or just aunt, uncles, everybody, they have been showing up. Shout out to Greene County for showing up for the boys.
Yeah, rich history here. I mean, as you can see out on that outfield, it's been some, stagnant years, we'll say. But I mean, it's been last year and this year has been an exciting time to be a part of or to see, Greene Central play on the diamond.
That's right. And now let's go ahead and jump into our matchups. If you didn't get to check out this week's By the Numbers article that Ryan pieced together, but a great job, because it's very hard getting their stats. We had to go through every single box score because it wasn't laid out for us. And we had to do our own statistician job, and we didn't mind. We loved it. So let's go ahead and jump into the numbers of Burns. What type of team is Greene Central facing? Break it down.
So Burns is a very good baseball team.
Yes, sir.
I mean, like we've said, you get to this point in this season, you're playing a good team. A little bit about Burns. Burns is in Cleveland County in a town called Lawndale. It's a smaller town, population only about 570, so a little less than 600, a little bit smaller than what you see with Greene County, Snow Hill area. Burns is the #1 team in the 2A West, going up against the #1 team in the 2A East. They are the defending state 2A champions, as Trey said earlier. Last year, they defeated South Granville 6-1 and 9-5 in the state championship. The records over the last 3 years, including this year they're 31-1. Last year, they were 28-4, winning the state championship. And the year before that, 2001, 2022, they were 22-4. And I did the math, 81-9 in 3 years.
That's very impressive.
81-9.
That's a powerhouse.
And, you know, they're coached by Alex Leonhardt. Coach, he has a 121-42 record over 7 years. So this is his 7th year. He went 40-33 his first 4 years and has turned it around 81-9 in his last 3 years. But they are competing or coming out of the Southern Piedmont 1A, 2A conference with a 35-2 record and 3 straight conference championships over the last 3 years. They have 1 sophomore, 12 juniors, and 3 seniors on this roster. So they've got a lot of guys coming back from last year, and, you know, I think they're going to be ready to play.
Well, one junior sticks out the most to me. And honestly, all their key players are juniors. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure the seniors, there's some guys in there, there's some studs. But the one junior that sticks out to me is Kobe Putnam. I don't know if I screwed that up or not, but he's #3.
Yeah.
You can't screw that up.
Greene Central has a #3. They've got a
and
#3.
they're very similar to me.
Yeah, and so kind of going over their pitching, what we looked at, what I saw from, you know, kind of going back through game changer, looking at all their stats, they've got 2 pitchers really that stick out. #3, Colby, I think I'm going to say Putnam. I think I'm gonna go Putnam. But 81 innings pitched, he's allowed 33 hits, 11 runs, 13 walks, and he's had 126 strikeouts this year. Another one, Jackson Tony, we'll apologize.
Potato.
Yep, #15. He's kind of their second pitcher that's really been dominant, started and been dominant this year. 50.2 innings pitched, allowed 18 hits, 14 runs, 27 walks, and had 69 strikeouts.
Ooh.
But when I was looking at it, I kind of looked at, because we talked about, I wanted to see over their last 10 games. Their last 10 games, that's really kind of their playoff, leading up to the playoff. A lot of rotations kind of go down. Putnam and Tony have both pitched, but they also have #6, Joshua Taylor, and #24, Marshall McGowan, who, they look kind of like relievers. Both of them have about 8 innings pitched in these last 10 games. But Taylor has only allowed 2 hits, 1 run, 3 walks, and 7 strikeouts, while McGowan has allowed 9 hits, 5 runs, 6 walks, and 11 strikeouts. So I don't really see a weakness on the pitching side.
I don't either. I think this is one of the most complete teams that the Rams will face, and I think the Rams are one of the most complete teams Burns will face.
Yeah.
So going further into it, let's jump into the batting. You want me to break it down?
Yeah, go ahead and break it
All
down.
right, so one thing that we know about this team is they can hit the ball.
Yeah.
They can hit the ball. Like you said, nobody's here but being a weak in any area. They have 21 home runs. 18 of the 21 home runs came from their home field. That's not to discredit them at all. We'll talk about that a little bit later with the altitude and stuff like that. But 5 juniors I need to talk about here. We done talked about 2 of them, but Marshall McGowan, did I say that right?
McGowan, yeah.
McGowan, I'm sorry. I'm not an expert at speaking. I make it look good. Anyway, he's a batting average .540 on the year, 10 home runs, 41 RBIs, 3 stolen bases. He is currently on a 23-game hitting streak. Very impressive. Going back to Colby, the Gardner-Webb commit. Let's go back to McGowan. He's 6'3", 215, and he's a football recruit as well. He's a stud up there.
You won't miss him.
No, you will not. Not at
Just
all.
look for for number 24. You're going to see him out
Yep.
there.
All right, going to back to Kobe. Batting average 512, 8 home runs, 46 RBIs, 13 stolen bases. You know, when people pitch, when they get on base, you sub in the runner, not for this guy.
Nope.
He's going to run his own bases. He's going to be a competitor. He's out there to win. He's out there to win. Jackson Tony, you talk about his pitching. Same thing with his batting. 343, 2 home runs, 18 RBIs. But two guys I'm very interested in seeing, and it kind of shows the makeup of this team, is Camden McCall. He is their 8-hole hitter, who also was their 9-hole hitter the whole regular season. He is very, very fast. The stats don't speak for themselves, but he had a lot of games where he got on base and he went 0 for 3. What that means for me is that he puts the ball in play and he's going to beat it out.
Yep.
But also, he has 15 stolen bases. Now, the leadoff hitter for the whole season, Nicholas Williams, his batting average was 325, 1 home run, 19 RBIs, 26 stolen bases. When the playoffs started, they moved this kid to the 9-hole. So that's very, very interesting to me. That's very, very interesting. I can't believe that it was because he can't hit, because he batted 326. I believe it's a great coaching strategy to fill out your lineup, and it reminds me of this Greene Central team as well.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it all year, Trey. The 9-hole hitter for Greene Central, Jordan Scott, provides a spark. He went through a little bit of a little tough time, a little stretch where he wasn't able to get on base, but the last couple of games, he has, been what Coach Brann has needed and his team has needed.
And so we're looking at two teams that look very, very similar. One more stat I want to give before we go into the altitude and the fence length and all that. 96 stolen bases this season. They've been caught stealing 10 times. However, in their last matchup, they were 0 for 3 in steal attempts.
Yeah.
So that only means probably that the team they were facing was a very good catcher, and he had a hose. And I also heard from Coach Brann that their catcher has a hose.
Yeah.
So, and if they have a hose, that means they got a strong arm. And
we knew where you were going with that, yeah.
That's what that means. So that's a good breakdown of what you're going to see this weekend. And I want you to talk about, because it's not just the altitude in Snow Hill or in the mountains, or that's where they play at in the mountains, but at Burlington as well. Break down their field so we can understand their home runs a little better, and break down the Burlington field and what we're looking at.
And let me start this by saying this is to take nothing away from these athletes. I mean, the guys obviously, are hitting, some bombs. But when you look at 18 of 21 home runs at home, I started digging a little bit more, looked at the field, and altitude-wise, we're here in Snow Hill, 72 foot, to sea level, compared to Lawndale's 846. Burlington's going to be about 673. It's proven, it's science. I play golf. In golf, you know it. Baseball, you know it. The higher you go in altitude, the air becomes less dense. Ball travels a little bit further. But also at Burns High School, they're playing on a short field. If you look out here right now to Greene Central, their left field is 320. At Burns, this 300 to 305. Left field, right field, dead center. There's a long point kind of left center that's like 325 to 330. But when you're going to play at Burlington Park, where these minor league teams, these guys are playing, they're playing on a big league field.
Yep.
It's 330 to left field, right field, and 400 to center. I don't expect to see a lot of long balls in this series from either team. But, like I said, I'm not taking anything away from the athletes.
Well,
but for me, I wanted to do a little digging, and, it stuck out to me.
Well, one thing that you brought up that's interesting to me, that's something that we can look on throughout the series, is Burlington has an elevation of 673. You did a great job with these stats. So, and they both going to have to play on the same field, but it's a big field, it's a big fence, and both are going to be playing on the same level. So does Greene Central hit better? Does Burns still hit as well because of the elevation? Who knows? It's something to keep in mind. It's something to watch. But at the end of the day, you go out there and you play your best ball and you play where your feet's at.
Correct.
So let's move on. Let's move on to the Greene Central Rams, and let's break down some of their stats of the season. We have talked about individuals all year long, so I'm not here to talk about the individuals. We know who Braden Burris is. We know who Austin Hardy, the Easton Creech is. We know the team, and we talked about it enough with y'all. We're not going to just drag it in the dirt. But looking at this team, pitching-wise, Man, the numbers are incredible. 712 batters faced, only 8 wild pitches. That's unbelievable. They've had 64 innings where they went 1, 2, 3. They have 64 innings with 13 strikes, 13 thrown pitches or less. They have allowed 1 home run, and that was the first at bat of the season against Eastern Wayne. Out of 712 batters, 1 home run.
Yeah.
That's very, very impressive. These pitchers do a great job of making you not. These pitchers do a great job of not allowing the hitters to square up on the ball. 86% of the balls hit are weak hit balls. I might be a little wrong with that. Let me check my stuff. I thought I had it.
Yeah, 86%.
86%. That's the other one. The hard hit ball ratio is only 14%. Now, the other thing I really want to focus on right here is the opponent's batting average is 148 and the opponent's batting average is 148 and the earned run average is 0.617 as a team. That is incredible. That is incredible. Moving on to behind the plate, it's hard to not talk about individuals, but Will Rafford has been the man all year, so there's no reason not to bring him up here.
Burns has a catcher.
Greene Central has a catcher. He has caught 2,743 balls. Only 9 have got by him. Only 9 balls out of 2,743 balls. That's a 0.3%.
And not to interrupt you, I mean, if you've been here for this playoff run, a couple of them have come into playoffs.
Yep.
There were a couple in that series against Whiteville, 2 or 3 in one game.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, Will Rafford does such an amazing job calling the game. He seems to have a way, if Burris or Hardy or Riley are pitching, if something's going wrong, he takes his time, walks out there, calms them down. But I mean, the Greene Central, and he can throw you out too.
100%.
He has a hose too.
He has a hose too. And there was times during the last game against Whiteville where Riley Rafford was up there, and you could see Will calling the game himself. One was a curveball, 2 strikes, and he's like, you saw him do that little, and boy, Riley put it right on the money. It fell right out of the strike zone. The guy went swinging.
Yep.
Great job there. The infield, outfield. One thing, if I ever brag about this team, one thing I go tell people is they're going to play defense.
Yep.
They've had one bad game all year. And luckily, it was in the best out of 3 series against Whiteville, the first one with 5 errors. Besides that, they have been lights out. Both of them are playing 90% put-out percentages on whatever balls hit to them. They're making plays. They're doing what they're supposed to do. I love it. The batting is on another level. The whole team's batting 340. The whole team's on-base percentage is 453. They've got 20 sacrifice hits and bunts. Expect to see Greene Central to bunt some. Stolen base success rate is 91%. Only 3 runners got picked off on the year, and one of them was Mason Dillon slipping at Whiteville, and that was just a freak play. All around, this team is legit.
Yeah.
This team is legit, and they're going against a team that is legit, and it's going to be a dogfight.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to be there this weekend to see it. I'll be following along on Game Changer and, on News Sports. But I expect to see 2 great teams, 2 well-coached teams. We know what we're getting here. You can look at the records. You can see what's happened over the last 3 years, for Burns. I don't think, if you're going to these games, you're going to see some exciting baseball. And hopefully, after the dust settles, we're bringing in another trophy here.
That's right. And now we're at the end of the show. Do not turn off just yet. We got a couple of things I want y'all to see. First is going to be our keys to win. I'm going to say something. You're just going to say something. But before that, we have a video at the end of the show. It's a motivational video for the boys. This is us, our idea, Ryan's idea, our little message to the guys. We're not a coach. We're just 2 guys that love baseball. Love these kids, and make sure you stick around for the video at the end. Ryan, do you want to start with your key for Greene Central to win?
Pitching. Greene Central is going to be sending Hardy and Burris to the mound. Nothing about me from what I've seen this year, the last couple games, this playoff run. I think they're going to be dominant on the mound. I know last time when Hardy pitched, the first game against Whiteville, there were some mistakes in the outfield or in the field in general, in the infield, outfield. They're not going to happen again. I believe firmly. I'm gonna say this is over. Y'all are gonna be coming home Saturday afternoon. You're not gonna have to stay till Saturday night. I think the Rams get it done in 2.
Well, my key is going to be a little different. Nobody on that field besides a couple of the coaches have been in a state championship game.
Yeah.
So one thing you got to remember is what got you here. And what got you here was your chemistry, your love for your brothers, your togetherness, and your willingness to play together for one goal. You had many goals this season, and many goals got knocked off, but this was it. This was the goal. And you only got here by playing together, by struggling together for the last 4 years. And no doubt in my mind, if Greene County shows up like they have been showing up, the Rams will be in it. And as long as the Rams are in it, they got a chance to win it. So let's go Rams. News Sports will be there. Like I said, do not forget to watch the video at the end that we got for you guys. This is for the players. And one more time, a special thanks to our GC Diamond Club, not our GC Diamond Club, just our sponsor, GC Diamond Club, for making sure this show got continued. Ryan, this is our last show of the year.
This is it.
This is it, man. What a run.
It's been great.
The podcast was great. We had to bring back game day because Greene Central, North Lenore, South Lenore, they put on a show in the playoffs.
Bethel, Parrott,
yeah, man,
all of them.
We had to show the support. A shout out to all the coaches. Shout out to all the mamas and daddies that fussed at us.
Yeah,
we love it.
They kept us on our toes.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
that's what we're here for, man. We're here to give it to you straight like it is. And I'm Trey Scott.
I'm Ryan Pittman.
And we're going to see you next year. But for now, watch this video for the Rams. Go Greene Central. Good luck to you guys.
Well, it's real simple. You got 2 more quarters and that's it. Now, most of you have been playing this game for 10 years. And you got 2 more quarters, and after that, most of you will never play this game again as long as you live. Now, you all have known me for a while, and for a long time now, you've been hearing me talk about being perfect. Well, I want you to understand something. To me, being perfect is not about that scoreboard out there. It's not about winning. It's about you and your relationship to yourself and your family and your friends. Being perfect is about being able to look your friends in the eye and know that you didn't let them down because you told them the truth. And that truth is that you did everything that you could. There wasn't one more thing that you could have done. Can you live in that moment as best you can with clear eyes and love in your heart? With joy in your heart. If you can do that, gentlemen, then you're perfect. I want you to take a moment and I want you to look each other in the eyes. I want you to put each other in your hearts forever, because forever is about to happen here in just a few minutes. I want you to close your eyes and I want you to think about your brother. And he would die to be out there on that field with you tonight. And I want you to put that in your hearts. Boys, my heart is full. My heart's full. Ivory.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is